Welcome to The Voice America. Today we'll be discussing on Trump's plan for 2024 election. But before we continue, do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest video. Let's begin. The date Saturday 9 October 2021 might go down in political history. Or a minimum of that's what Donald Trump would really like you to believe. That night, Trump will hold a rally in Iowa, the celebrated launchpad for U.S. presidential candidates, the state that goes first within the major parties' selection process, which is already drawing potential contenders for the Republican nomination in 2024. Trump's ability to draw raucous crowds there'll only fuel speculation that, despite his first term ending in defeat and disgrace, the 75-year-old intends to exact revenge by recapturing the White House from Democrat Joe Biden. Nobody knows if this is often true, quite possibly not even Trump himself. But the tease over 2024 suits Trump just fine on multiple levels. It keeps him relevant because the dominant figure within the Republican Party. It keeps cash flowing from donors still dedicated to his cause. And it flatters an ego that has always craved celebrity and being at the center of attention. "Look, this is often a man through all his life who's been on the front pages," said Henry Olsen, a senior fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center think tank. One thing he has learned is that nothing he experienced with the front page of the Nye Post or The Apprentice or his books equaled anything just like the constant attention you get by being a world political figure. It's few surprise that Trump, perhaps the foremost unorthodox president in American history, should embrace one among the foremost unorthodox post-presidencies, eschewing the philanthropic works or presidential libraries that occupied those before him. From his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, Trump takes an opportunity from golf to issue emailed statements. He is banned from social media, give interviews to right-wing media and visit campaign-style rallies in battleground states, all venomously attacking his successor and falsely claiming he was truth winner of the 2020 election. At the rallies, when Republican politicians or supporters urge him to run again to right this perceived injustice, he keeps the prospect boiling tantalizingly by neither agreeing nor ruling it out. He also flexes his political muscles by endorsing pro-Trump candidates in various congressional races. Such interventions would carry less clout if he formally pulled out of the race. So too would his blitz of emails that solicit donations to his affiliated political action committees. Trump raised quite $100 million within the half of this year, an unprecedented figure for an ex-president. He comfortably outraised every other Republican on Winward, the party's major portal for online donations. Olsen, author of The Labor Republican, said, "If he were to mention I'm not curious about 2024, whatever influence he wants to exert would be a dead letter." His real power comes from his ability to plausibly say, "I might be the president again, so I feel it definitely helps him maintain whatever influence he has." He added, "I'm sure it helps him with fundraising." Certainly if you're one among the 5 million or 10 million people that just love everything he says and should have given him money within the past, the very fact that he could also be subsequent president certainly encourages you to offer more small-dollar donations. Trump is watching the 2024 chatter closely and, although his wife Melania reportedly has little appetite for a return to the White House, is quite happy to stoke the flames. Earlier this month his camp emailed out the results of a Republican presidential primary poll for 2024 by Emerson that showed Trump on 67%, the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, on 10% and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley on 7%. Anecdotal evidence from Trump's rallies suggests that DeSantis, who has aped Trump's hostility to the media, poses the most important electoral threat. While most supporters remain fiercely loyal to the previous president, occasionally one will say they might wish to see him pass the torch to DeSantis. Critics believe that this trend could be spurring Trump's recent flurry of activity. Tara Setmayer, a former Republican communications director on Capitol Hill, said, "The rise of Ron DeSantis may be a direct threat to Trump's relevance. It's no accident that you simply see Ron DeSantis constantly on Fox News." Setmayer, a senior advisor to the Lincoln Project, an anti-Trump group, added, "Trump sees Ron DeSantis as an immediate threat to his popularity and in his home state of Florida. Trump may be a master communicator and marketer, and he understands when a brand becomes stale so he must still say and do things that make him relevant. The uncertainty makes life awkward for other Republicans contemplating a run. Trump's allies, who still push the lie of a stolen election, are working to make an air of inevitability around his nomination. Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio was recently recorded in an undercover video saying, "President Trump, he's getting to run again. I do know so. I talked to him yesterday. He's about able to announce in any case of this craziness in Afghanistan." Jason Miller, a senior advisor to Trump's 2020 campaign, told Cheddar that the likelihood that Trump will run again is somewhere between 99 and 100%. There are still many obstacles within the way of Trump's audacious political comeback, however. He would be 78 at the time of subsequent election, though Biden would be even older. He was impeached twice and will yet face investigations over his role in stirring an insurrection at the U.S. Capitol in Washington on 6 January. Trump's loss of power now deprives him, his family and his company of legal protections he enjoyed while within the White House. This summer prosecutors brought criminal charges against his property company, the Trump Organization, and its chief treasurer Allen Weisselberg over an alleged tax scheme dating back to 2005. But this too could provide a reason for Trump to stay alive. The prospect of another run president supported the hope that the Department of Justice would be reluctant to be seen as completing a politically motivated prosecution in an environment of bitter partisanship. Any such move would make certain to impress howls of Republican outrage. At root, however, some observers suspect that the will he won't he dilemma is just about Trump's insatiable desire to be talked about. Kurt Bardella, a Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee advisor who believes Trump will run, said, "First and foremost, Donald Trump has an unhealthy got to be at the center of attention. He's driven by pure ego and narcissism, and running for the presidency satisfies tons of these needs that he has. Win, lose or draw, just to be at the center of attention and to be topical. We have seen throughout his entire life that, once you boil it down, everything he does is that. Nothing burns him quite when he sees people like Ron DeSantis being labeled the next Donald Trump. I feel he believes that the ultimate chapter hasn't been written yet, and he's not able to turn the page or let anybody else, for that matter, turn the page." Please do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest video.